Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
From the zany maw ruins of Zereth Mortis, I'm Slidewhistle.
Yeah, we're out here in Zeri Morty. It is I, Immunization.
I heard you say zany, and I said, ooh, he's gonna try. It lacked a bit in the middle, but you finished it up strong. Also, I'm Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag.
I'm not really sure what a zany maroon is, but we're in such an alien lifelike planet that it's gotta make sense somewhere out there.
Speaking of alien business practices, Monster Hunter. Why, when I log in, you tell me, get ready for the new DLC, out now. And then I check, and it's out, quote, summer 2022. Were you just making sure I was ready? Yeah, I've been ready. The game came out like 2 years ago.
They're like, come on, Aaron, you know it's coming soon. Get ready, boy.
Yeah, I would have bought it that day. But it gave me the update, and it's just like, when's it coming out? Sometime. I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready then.
That's literally like half a year away. But anyways, while we're speaking about like things that felt alien, I remember like going into this patch, they really hyped up Zereth Mortis as being like, it's very alien-like. And then their like main example is for some reason like, you can walk on water. But like, we could do that as Death Knights or literally most of the classes some way or another. But Slide and I were talking off pod a little bit, or like yesterday, I think, that they actually did a good job of actually making it feel alien, but why did they choose the water walking as like their main thing?
Yeah, I was listening to Thrall's Balls, shout out Thrall's Balls podcast, and they were saying how it doesn't feel like WoW, like the zone, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it doesn't feel like WoW, and then I was like, but wait a minute, that's what they said it wouldn't feel like. So yeah, I guess I don't know why they defaulted to, you can walk on water, but I have yet to find a body of water that I can immerse myself into. I'm always walking on top of it.
No, you can't. Yeah, there is zero swimming in this area that features a fair amount of water.
I think that they really should have said that, like, they should have focused in on the fact that there's lots of balls, lots of floating balls, lots of spherical things, giant balls, just lots of balls.
There's even that world quest that shows up every couple of days where it's just like, take some time and really think about balls. It's like wave your hand next to balls and you get ball energy. And then you get enough ball energy and you take it back to Fareem and he's like, wow, there are a lot of balls here.
Yeah, and then like you need like big ball energy and also like tiny ball energy. But that is one of my gripes so far with this new patch. I feel like I've gotten that daily quest most days so far since the patch has dropped. And I'm like, guys, I know it's probably random, but I feel like it shouldn't be random at the beginning. I feel like every day you should get different ones until, like, you've done them all, probably.
We're all in the same daily quest loop, right? We don't have different dailies from each other?
Yes, I believe so. And yes, the combination of siphon ball energy and trap elemental guys in a cube did come up, like, 3 times in a row. And I was like, I guess I'll keep doing this.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that happened, but I also don't understand. So there's a rare that you have to fish up. This is the jellyfish that looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, Huracan or whatever.
How does my fishing bobber get into the water if I can't walk on it? So how are the fish? Where are the fish? How are they? What is? Huh?
Clearly your bobber is less holy than you. Like, it can enter the sacred waters, but you cannot.
Sacred waters. What is that from? Is that the tree guy from WoD? Is that what that is?
Yes.
I think he said, we must purify the waters.
That's it. That feels good to hear again. I missed that bitch. I got a big gripe with Zereth Mortis, though. I feel like they need to buff the health of certain mobs and reduce the health of other mobs.
Like, which ones would you be referring to?
All of them. They need to buff the health of most of them.
Well, you're going to have to name specific ones, because here goes my early in the game time warp.
I have one that I can't forget. Right, that's my brain. I'm hanging on to it.
Okay, y'all know how time warp works. So, In 40 seconds, I need... Not 45 minutes, that's what my thing was set to. It's going to be a long time warp.
I can do that.
In 40 seconds, I need you to give me as many rares as you can in Zeri Morty. Are you ready?
Yes.
And go.
Huracan.
The Engulfer.
Sandstorm Matriarch. Garudian.
Big Spider Mother. I don't know her name. Fuck.
Zarathura. Zathura Rura. His name's really weird.
A lot of the names I just don't know them yet. Fuck.
Acarus is a sandworm. There is that annoying bird that I can't get to, that I see his name all the time and it annoys me because I can't fly yet. Oh god, what's his name?
There's the malfunctioning overgrowth or something like that was bugged until very recently.
Time!
Wow, that's hard. I can see all their little dumb faces.
So I will say this. 1, Slide wins. 2, I am very impressed because I was pulling up the list as he was kind of warbling. I was like, oh, fucking Zarathura. And yet you got on the head General Zarathura. I was like, son of a bitch, he did get it right.
Because whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, guys, General Zarathura's up. Loved his movie. Not as good as Jumanji, but, it's a good one. And everyone's like, what?
I'm a huge Dax Shepard guy. Love Zarathura.
Is the Engulfer one of them?
Yes.
The Engulfer is a rare. According to this list, he's not. But also, so this list that I have in front of me was just and everyone's going to have to look at their screens here, the screaming mouth face.
The silver
with,
dragon
stars.
portrait?
Yeah, the silver dragon portrait. That's these ones. The guy who's on the cliff and you can't fight him because you can't fly. The Engulfer. The Sand Queen, those are all star guys. I don't know what those are qualified as.
I hate that. I really hate that because and that is also part of the differentials in like the health's not being buffed and the health's being small. Like the matriarch, she has like 2 health. Like you can solo her, which is fine, I think. But then like it's weird that she has such a long spawn timer. She's, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Put more of her everywhere.
The matriarch and the Engulfer spawn in the same place, but I've never fought the matriarch.
Well, because the matriarch isn't the boss. You protect her from the devourers that are coming out of the portal, and then if you protect her enough, then the Engulfer comes out, and then Engulfer's the actual one you kill.
I always wondered because I would get there when no one else was around, and I was like, "What are we doing?" And she looked at me like, "Rah!" And then I left.
Does the Engulfer have a silver dragon portrait?
No, he does not.
Ugh.
He eventually just the matriarch star becomes his star. I think sort of like there's a guy in the desert who is a Mossworn general who's on a horse, but when he spawns in, you get his horse's name, but his name is his name.
Yeah, I killed him once.
It makes it tough to try and find people because you'll be like, can anyone kill Zaras the Maw? And people are like, oh, you fucking loser. It's actually Zorbnal the general.
Well, anyways, guys, I did something bad, and I poured myself a shot of tequila because that was the nearest thing.
No, Immune, you're going to be a little sneezy-beezy all episode now.
All episode? I have to say bless you all fucking night now.
Normally, you only give me, 2, and then you're like, that's enough.
It's true, I do say that a lot. Okay,
well, here I go.
You've earned your blessing after that. Fuck off.
I'm like, that's no more. You're done. You're done. Okay, so, this is interesting. I never thought of them not having silver dragon portrait, which all the old players are like, of course, that's what indicates a real rare. So, but my problem is the Engulfer I feel like has a lot of effort to spawn it. Like you defend something, there's a little RP involved, but then it spawns and then it has 2 health and it falls over with the fucking wind.
I was just thinking of the ones that you needed to kill in order for the Adventurers and Zereth Mortis achievement.
Even
which are more than the list I had in front of me, because the list I had in front of me was 10 people, and I know that listing is 16 of them.
Huh.
Also, what is the official name for Big Spider Matriarch?
Mother Festus.
Mother Festus.
Okay, that's.
I only know because people never want to do it. So I'm sitting there invisible in Mother Festus's cave, and every so often a child Festus will be like, "I want to fight," and then I kill it, and I'm just like, "Really? No one wants to help me out with this one?"
I know. So, like, I feel like every new area, there's one of those bosses that's always up, and that's her, I guess, because I posted, and I was like, somebody want to come kill Mother Festus? And then literally 4 people all posted immediately. She's always up. She's always up. I don't care.
But and not only that, not only is she always up, but she is one of the people that needs to be nerfed. She has way too much health. And that's also why people don't want to kill her, because it takes a long time to kill her. It's the same thing with Icarus, the sandworm. That fucking dude does the A does so much damage. B has so much health. I felt like there was 6 of us slapping him for 20 minutes. And I'm like, please just die. Please. And you know what happened? We all died instead. And his health reset. And I said, see you guys. I'm not coming back to this guy. Good luck. Goodbye.
I had a really spicy moment earlier today. I posted a thing for like the general, the guy who's on the horse in the desert. Mm-hmm. And I got like 10 people. And then I got 3 more who were just around the world. But then I was like, okay, I kind of got to do something. 10 is enough. We pull with 10. As we're fighting, we kill him. And I check. And I have 3 whispers from the 3 other guys who are like, why did you pull? Please wait for everyone. And I was like, boy, why are you in Haven queuing for this boss in the desert? I even told them, I was like, you are nowhere near here. You were incorrect in finding this group.
That is my biggest pet peeve, when someone joins a group and is like, summons available, or is like, wait for me, and I'm like, dude, what? People who join a group without sitting like at the thing waiting, like what goes through your mind?
And I've touched upon it in a previous episode. If you are not 10 feet away from the boss, you don't count. You have no rights.
I mean, sometimes I join these groups, and I know I'm far away, but I'm actively on my way there, and if they kill it before I'm there, that's on me. I'm not going to say anything.
That's perfectly legal. But if you join and you immediately say something stupid, I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
My nuts.
More nuts.
Anyway, I'm not done rare ranting. They either need to buff the health of certain things, or they need to bring back that old style as of like last one, where they're like, this guy is going to spawn in 1 minute. That's perfect. Give me that.
Yeah. We need like, and I swear they do it for some of them, because it's like, you feel a rumble in the beneath Pilgrim's grace, and it's like, okay, well that means Icarus is coming. But he's like one of 3 people who do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, they distinctly do it for probably like 4 or 5 of them. It's like, the sands are shifting, and then it's like, big bird boss over in the cliffs or something. I don't know.
Sometimes, though, that's not enough, because it'll be like, Garudon is feeling the food, and it's gonna eat. But by that point, it's like already like down, and any person can just hit it. And I'm like, no, I need to know when he is up in that fucking rocks, waiting to be pulled down. That's what I need to know.
And then on the complete opposite hand, you have Huracan, who is always up. The map is always telling you that Huracan is up, but just him being up doesn't mean anything. You just see him down there under the water, but no one has a lure to get him.
That area is so maddening to me, because not only do we have Huracan, who is always up but will never show up, but we also have confused Ovid, who I still don't know how to unconfuse her. So I always walk by and I'm like, oh, rare at a chest? And then neither of them are accessible to me.
I've looked into the confused Ovid, and you need to find, she has 4 or 5 either lost chicks or lost eggs that are around the map. You need to bring those eggs and or chicks back to her or something, and then she'll get up and fly away and then leave you the treasure to pick at.
Aw, that's why she's so confused?
She's a big fucking dumbass. That's what she is. Get out of here. It's like, I don't know, either give us more fight points. The map is so big. Someone would be like, protector's up, and I'm like, I'm coming. And they'd be like, don't worry, everybody. He's not pulled. Don't worry. And as I'm like halfway there, somebody pulled him. he's dead. And I'm like, no, please, God, I need him.
Maybe that was me.
I was gonna say flying would make this better, but it'd probably make it worse.
Yeah, it's Aaron. Aaron, it's you hitting the fucking boss in the nuts.
I mean, I know most of the bosses, and I know roughly when enough people are there, and I'm just gonna be like, and Scorch. Like, I got a lot of these to do today. I'm not going to be waiting for you, guy across the map.
And then, like, once we get geared, we're gonna just blow them up even more. Like, they're not gonna scale with us. It's like,
The thing is, they kind of scale for, like, the number of people, because I've at least noticed it on Big Spider Boss, that people trickle in, and then her health actively goes up. And I don't know why her health is so much higher than the other ones, but...
We demand this fixed. Sign my petition.
We'll force Blizzard to make these changes. We're a legion of dozens.
Well, I guess if we're done with the rare talk, have you guys done any Super Jailer racing yet?
Super Jailer Racing!
Super Jailer Racing!
Danica Patrick unlocked.
Banjo-Kazooie unlocked. Wreck-It Ralph has yet to be unlocked.
Yeah, I race some. Wait, have you raced some? Am I the only racer?
To do the Super Jailer Racing, I did it, but only to level 3.
I have not done any Super Jailer racing yet.
I have raced 2-4, and is 5 out now?
Yes, because I saw a man get the achievement for it.
Okay, cool.
You know, I saw local sweaty boy Gronkadin. He got it.
I saw him talk about it, because, like, okay, so Lynn was like, I did the 4 was so hard, that was great, and then Gronk's like, you should try the 5. If you thought 4 was hard, a 5 is really hard. And I was like, okay, come on, like, get out of here.
Literally all you had to say was, yeah, but 5 was even harder.
Well, that's the same. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, but it's not a asshole way to say it.
There should have been a Gratz. A Gratz should have been in there, and then it would have been fine.
Yes.
We're splitting hairs. It's, you know.
But anyway, Super Jailer Racing is fun because it's very quick. I have yet to be in one where I lost. And that's not a flex. That's only because I have made it to 3. But it's like the whole thing is over within 10 minutes or so. And it's just fighting bosses. You just get powers as you kill stuff. It feels really nice. They really cut the fat from the Torghast experience.
Yeah, I was really enjoying my time. Now, I will say, for the 4th layer, I did have to get a group, and I did a pug group. And let me tell you, we were approximately 0.5 seconds from absolutely murdering each other. We were about to go outside in the mall and duel each other to death. Like, we were so pissed at each other.
You know, I was right next to Slidewhistle during this entire encounter, and the entire time he was shit-talking his teammates to me. In particular, I think it was a Resto Shaman turned Elemental Shaman that was, like, that you guys were ready to, like engage in fisticuffs with each other.
Okay, so the eye level scaling just is really crazy, right? So, like, for layer 1, it's like 235? Is that what it is? 240?
Yeah, like 235, because I remember I was like, I got this in the bag. And then at level 2 is 245, which is my eye level. And I was like, that's fair. And then level 3 is like 255. And I was like, okay, this is a little tough.
And like, I'm pretty sure that 4 is like 265 or 270. It's something crazy. So I tried to do a 4 alone, and I absolutely got rocked on like the first 3 attempts. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll just join a group. Get a group. Everything's going okay. But what happened was people got overconfident in their abilities. Now, I'm 252, so I'm a pretty high level. My group, though, was like 230, 235, which is like, in a group shouldn't matter as much because the powers, but it's still like, okay, dude, come on.
But, like, the thing is, you always know that the people who start these groups are approximately, at any given kind of content, 20 eye levels lower than what they probably should be.
Goes for like anything in this game. But so we were doing it. We were fine that the first 2 layers, or the first 2 floors, we get to the 3rd floor, and the Elemental Shaman is so confident in its abilities that he pulls the bosses early when there's only 3 of us there. 2 people were still getting their powers.
Wait, yeah, I say people were loading into the zone.
They were talking to the vendor, and they were picking up their shit. So, like, they clearly were not ready. And he heroed, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I said, why, is what I said while we're fighting the boss. And so, naturally, what do you think happens? People begin to die, because we're pulling this boss way too early, without all the players needed. And so the shaman dies, and then the paladin dies, and the shaman dies again. And then the shaman starts talking shit like, can you guys fucking get in here and start hitting shit? And I'm like, could you not pull this boss early before everybody's ready? And the Demon Hunter's like, this, with an up arrow.
Also, this is not a timed event, right? So there's no reason for the shaman to run in there and pull it early. It's not like Mythic Plus where you gotta time it, or even just normal Torghast where, you know, you get extra points for doing it quickly. This is literally you have X amount of lives and you need to just finish it, right?
Correct. He also left 2 anima orbs on the table. He didn't even go back and get those. So I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So we're yelling. Like, he's like, I'm doing more damage than you people who didn't pick your powers yet. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing quadruple your damage, so I don't want to hear what you have to say about it. And then the paladin, who I was defending the paladin. The paladin was like, hey, druid, you're in this group, aren't you? So obviously you couldn't do it alone. And I was like, I was defending you, my dude.
Yeah, you may think you're a cool dude, but you could only get to 80%, unlike us 15%ers.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was backing you up, homie. Like, I hate you now, you dumb little bitch. And so we are it was bad. It was real bad. We ended up with only 2 lives left for 3 floors to go through. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna die.
And then you just had, like, your 4th person that was just a warlock who was like, I'm happy to be here.
He's like, if I don't say nothing, I won't get kicked. But we cleared it. By the skin of our fucking teeth, we cleared it. And by the end, everyone shook hands and said, good day, good day. The Elemental Shaman said, damn, Feral's really good. I should make one of those. And I was like, yeah, Feral pumps. And then I left.
And then you said, actually, look at the interwebs. It is deeply not anymore.
We'll
You
see.
said, I have to pay blood and teeth to make this thing work nowadays.
I'm really curious to see what happens when we get double legendaries, because I think that is when the break point is for when, like, I'm gonna get passed by, like, everybody else. That's what everyone's predicting in the Pharaoh community. We'll see. Probably. It wouldn't surprise me. You can only do so much with your stats, right?
Yeah, and I do really feel bad for the Ferals, though, because I feel like they got nerfed because people who don't normally play Feral were, like, posting about how, air quotes, broken it could possibly be, and then it got nerfed after everyone was like, yeah, let's go play Feral, and then it got nerfed, and then everyone left, and then you're just left with all the people who are, like, the Feral mains, and then you're just shit on by all of that again.
For clarification, for everybody being like, why is he saying feral, not feral? Because the Pharaoh community has a joke where they're just like, feral pumps, but they spell feral wrong, F-E-A-R-L. I don't really know why. They're stupid. We're stupid.
I did wonder, because you did that a couple times last episode, and I was just like, that's his thing.
If you were in the raid chat, there were so many feral druids last night in...
There was a lot of...
Oh.
I mean, I'm not surprised, because, once again, 48% of players are druids. But yeah, there was a moment where, like... And it was not even a lot of repeating. It was like 7 to 8 to 9... like, druids were just going off, and I was like, hey, guys, what's going on? Blue in the chat here.
And so I was just saying feral, and then I was also checking the feral Discord, and people were like, feral pumps. Like, at the same time.
But I guess while we're talking about, like, what happened in raid chat, we might as well just talk about how fucking Seppi is open, baby!
The Seppi! He has opened his arms to us. He has gnocchi at the end of the trail, but we have to fight hard to get to it.
He has opened his arms and his pizzeria.
This has probably got to be one of, like, the absolute prettiest raids we've stepped foot in our career, right?
Absolutely, I think so.
I mean, you figure the last 3, Nyalotha, Nathria, Sadis, deep, dark, sad. This is wide open and beautiful. I love it.
I, like, actively got distracted by how beautiful it was the other day. And also, so far, clarification, like, our raid group is 4 out of 11 right now. So we'll talk about those first 4 bosses we've seen so far. But yeah, and it's like varied as well, like different, like, okay, so we alluded to this in the previous episode, but this raid is so big that you need to take teleporters to different regions of it, and they're all very different. So I think that's very cool. And all of them are stunning in their own way.
Well, it was crazy that as you're flying around the teleporter, you see other raid bosses just like beneath you.
Yeah. Going. There's particularly one. I remember when it happened during the raid, I was like, it's him! You're flying and you see like Hayfion, the tank guy, like Hallandros, the 4-leg tank guy, and I was like, he's just walking around. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I don't know, I'm just very like, okay, first off, I'm excited. Love raiding. Happy a new raid is open. So that's probably why I'm just so excited about literally everything that we've done so far.
I'm trying to think, what was the first boss?
Well, okay, so the first boss was a big thing. It was and I don't remember his name, so I'm just going to use the colloquial phrase we pinned.
Vigilant Guardian.
Vigilant Guardian, a.k.a. Eyeball Magoo. But you come up, and it's just a bunch of robots standing around, and there's one guy walking around with his little hand on his hip with a push broom because he's the Vigilant Custodian. And I remember people are like, okay, get your flasks up, get ready. And I was like, guys, this isn't the guy. This isn't Eyeball Magoo. This is Vigilant Custodian. We can just beat him up.
Also, I was bad. I did another thing that was bad, and I didn't look up anything about this raid before going.
No, I didn't. It wasn't until we were in front of the people that I cracked open Growlina's secret weapon, the Dungeon Journal, to get like even a crumb of information. But it didn't teach me anything, because also in the Dungeon Journal, it just shows Eyeball Magoo. But a newsflash to anyone who hasn't done it, literally 3/4 of the fight is just killing boys, and Eyeball Magoo is the doorway in front of you.
Yeah, so this fight's basically if you took the first fight in Daza, which is, what are they called?
Champions of the Light.
Wow, good job. Holy shit. Champions of the Light.
I do pride myself on remembering. The other day, I forgot one Nyalotha boss, and I cried.
And then you take Champions of the Light, and then you add one big Eyeball Magoo after them. And let me tell you, I was pissed. I was like, you're telling me the first fucking fight isn't single target? You're telling me, a feral druid with very limited AoE, who did not spec into my AoE talents, has to do this fucking fight with a million ads? I was so upset. I was like, God damn it.
I love it, because with a million ads comes a million execute ranges, which means I'm slapping that 8 button to scorch all day.
And, newsflash, GN Army. I'm raiding as a BM Hunter. I am Metalloid now, in raid at least.
Which is crazy.
Ooh.
This is your first time being a DPS main in raid since our first raid in WoD, right?
2015.
And I don't know that I would count that officially as like our official raiding career, because we were raiding we were pugging, and we found our open raid group led by an Australian man, and we had like really loose groups with Animal House maybe, but I feel like our first real like dedicated guild raiding experience was the beginning of Legion probably. And then at that point I switched to healer.
I would say you're wrong. We got AOTC with that Australian group. That we had a raiding career in WoD. You didn't just casually get AOTC. We were brand new to the game. We knew the hell we were doing.
That's true. I guess I will not rewrite history for that. So yes, you're right. That technically that was my like first raiding experience, and I'm returning to my first raiding experience on this Hunter Metalloid. So I'm excited, and I've been enjoying it so far. Although I will say that in particular as a Hunter, I feel like you need to be held accountable for doing mechanics of the fight. So
good. You do that shit while I'll stand the boss and eat their asshole. That's what I do. And you run around doing your little arrow shoots. Sounds good to me.
I am very happy to have a fellow distance DPS guy, because we need to, shut down attacks way in the distance. And I was like, yep, that's me, baby. You're out here with me.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Zymox interrupting those ads, right?
Although we were bad at killing the big guys, so I tend to focus on big guys.
Yeah, we had this classic, like, our raid group problems, stuff like that. I feel like the group's been learning pretty fast. I will say I was very shocked when Eyeball Magoo stood up from his squat position in that door and was like, ha 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 ha, I'm the boss. The door is the boss. And I'm like, holy shit, the door's walking towards us.
Yeah, both Slide and I turned to each other, like, not in comms, and we're like, whoa, this is the real boss. Because, yeah, we didn't watch anything. We didn't know what was happening.
All I know is that beautiful, big-eyed bastard came at us at 32%. So I just had to throw a few fireballs at him, and then he was at 30, and I was like, you fucked up.
I love the big eyeball mob's run. It's like, here I come.
It looks so derpy, but I love it.
It's good. Kill that guy pretty easy, I feel like, right?
It was literally a one-shot.
Yeah, no wipe. Just great. And I think that's a really good tone to set the first boss with, especially on normal, right? Go in, you kill him, and then you go in, and then you have your path to choose from there.
Although I will say that I feel like a lot of people, a lot of guilds, are a little surprised that normal is not as easy as they thought it would be. I know that almost everyone that I've talked to, it hasn't, like, normal people haven't, like, full cleared normal yet, even. Maybe, like, a few people have are, like, in a faster guild where they have maybe defeated Anduin so far, but I feel like most guilds are, like, hung up on a few.
All I know is this raid has been hard enough that I, scraggly-haired World of Warcraft content creator, are done with the raid, and dare I say the game, forever.
Okay, I saw this, and I wasn't sure how real is this, because Asmongold, it's been
people are like, I know your editors make that. Like this man's like an innocent boy who's like, oh no, I never said that.
Well,
like clearly he told them to be like, yeah, title it that to get the clicks.
A lot of the content on YouTube of his is usually by a third party who's not associated with him, which sounds hard to believe. But this dude, he's like, I don't care, whatever, dude, make your money. I make my money, make your money. And I didn't watch the video because I don't want to give it a click. But everybody, I have to watch it now because now I feel like I'm uninformed on the stance. But apparently, people were saying that he just did a pug group and with his viewers,
yeah,
and then none of them
watched
anything.
I think he just had a doo-doo group who didn't know anything, and he was like, I'm the content creator, I'm the big man. Why didn't we punch all the way through? And so it looked embarrassing, so he had to go and be like, the raid's bad.
Well, honestly, I'm willing to say that if you are not a cutting-edge type guild, you probably struggled your way to where you are right now in normal, like us. It's normal. Like, I wouldn't want, like, normal and heroic to just fall over, like, one-shot everything on the first day of the new raid, you know?
Yeah, because, like, the highest we're going to go is heroic with this guild, so, like, let it take some time, that's fine. But, like, I really feel like the jump, like, to Zymox, like, if you take the Zymox path, like, it's one of the hardest second bosses you could pick, I feel like, by this point.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, you can choose. After you defeat the Vigilant Guardian, you can go a different route. But our group was like, we're just going to go right to Zymox. We know that if we can defeat him, he's probably the mechanically wise hardest boss that we'll have to face. And, you know, our group sometimes struggles with that. So might as well just get our practice in now, make it easier for ourselves in the future. So, yeah, at the end of our first night of raiding, we only had cleared Vigilant Guardian, and we had gotten Zymox down to, I believe, around 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think because Lynn was like, we're going to do one that's mechanically the hardest, because I feel like our group traditionally struggles on hard mechanics. Which is fine. It takes people a while to learn them, and, like, I'm not in a rush. I'm not going anywhere this patch, so... And that one definitely feels like it's one of the hardest mechanic bosses early on.
Yeah.
Also, it may have been bugged, though, because while we were in our first night of raid, which was technically on, like, patch night. Not patch night. Raid release night. And while we were in there, it got nerfed, and that's, I think, why some people were being disconnected, because there was like a hot fix to this boss while we were in there.
Well, yeah, they were making changes to like all kinds of stuff in there while we were there. It's just me, or does Zymox sound more French than usual sometimes? Like in this raid fight.
Sometimes they really do play around with vague European that the brokers are. So sometimes they put a little more stank on certain words and be like, huh, where are you coming from this time, bud?
Like, I swear one time he said, Vichyssoise, and I was like, what? What'd you just fucking say, bud, dude?
You know what's funny, though? I feel like we came to this realization on our second night of raiding when we got back to him, and we were like, well, why is he so mad at us? Why is he hitting us so hard? It's because, like, when you first approach him, he's just pondering this orb in the middle. Like, it's really honestly fucking rude of us to interrupt him while he was doing that.
Yeah, Mans was not gonna fight us at all. We threw the first hammer or fireball at him, and he was like, ah, my orb! Stop hitting my orb!
I mean, maybe he deserved it. He's a common thief. This dude steals shit. Also, okay, so I did my 5 time walking, and I got my regular normal piece of loot from this raid, and what I got was Cartel Zai's neck piece, which is a necklace that takes me to Cartel Zai associates locations. And I'm like, okay, so am I gonna be taken to like Tazavesh? It took me to the necropolis with Bonswamdi and what's his boss's name? Who he made tiny and he steps on sometimes for
Muzala.
Like, yeah, Muzala. And I was like, okay.
I'm gonna crush you like tiny husband, Muzala. No! And then he gets in his little car and he drives. Oh no!
And I was like,
I'm gonna squeeze you out between my 2 big toes.
Or as Gershon said, what about his dew claw? his dew claw.
I'm gonna squish you right between all 3 of my toes.
But I was like, okay, so this necklace that drops from Zymox surely must take me to the other side bosses. And I looked up on Wowhead, and people were like, I was taken to Oldwar. I was taken to Red Ridge Hills. What is it? Red Ridge Mountains.
I prefer Red Ridge Hills.
I kind of do too.
When are we going back to Azeroth to go back to Red Ridge?
Next expansion, Red Ridge returns. But, this is interesting, because is this saying that Cartel Zai has traveled to all of these different places? And is this like a lore spoiler? Maybe they've interacted with certain things in all these places.
Uh-oh, be careful. People are going to be like, it's a retcon! They're retconning my precious lore! The cartels never visited Azeroth! I can't believe they would do this!
Fucking Steve DeSnoozer did not disclose them being there in 2010, so they can't be there!
Listen, y'all, it's not retconning if, you insert future story elements into things that wouldn't have been discovered in the past.
Yeah, I've just seen a lot of people, who are mad at the cinematic, the spoiler cinematic that we won't talk about yet, but maybe we will soon, that was for the raid, and they were like, I can't believe they're going to retcon this. And I'm like, none of this is even a retcon. Stop.
Well, we might as well just talk about it right now because we already brought it up. So
I'm no innocent child. It's like, this is what happens after you defeat Anduin, and part of me is like, do I want to wait? And I was just like, no, it's going to be a couple weeks till I even pretend to see that. So let's watch it.
Yeah. So I guess real quickly, the cinematic plays after you defeat Anduin, and it basically involves after you defeat him. He is struggling with being dominated by the jailer, and then the fact that he has... Okay, so what is his sword called in, this
Shalaman.
Kingsmorn.
His current one is Kingsmorn.
But it's based on Shalaman, right?
Yeah, it's a corrupted Shalaman.
Okay, so anyways, then, his daddy appears to him, and I'm really confused about this too, because I'm like, you died, but we never were shown what happened to you after you died besides turning to dust in Legion, so I don't know.
Varian. I was like, you're not even going to say his name? You're going to say Varian Rin's name? Just his daddy?
Well, also because he had two kind of proto-daddies. Because Varian comes in, he was like, this blade you wield is about truth. And then randomly, Varrock Sourfang shows up.
It's not random. It's not random. What do you mean random? Explain randomly to me.
Well, I feel like Sourfang and Anduin did not have that much of a connection.
What are you talking
until
about?
The battle for Azeroth.
No, but it's more so about the blade itself being forged between theirs, right?
Because it's not Varrock's blade, but because it was when Varian was corrupted by he was a horde fighter in the
when he was in the gladiator pits.
Charlemagne came from when he was Logosh?
Yeah, it's a combination of Logosh and Varian. It's a reuniting of the two splitting.
You know what? Then that's me not knowing. I know Charlemagne existed, but I did not really know how he came to get it. I was just like, yeah, it's Varian's funny sword that can split in half.
Yeah, because it was like when he split, his blade split, and then when he came together, then his blade came together and was more powerful. I'm pretty sure that's the lore. I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm also kind of like,
but what does Sourfang have to do that? Rhaegar Earth Fury was his orc
because
friend.
Anduin and Sourfang had a relationship in BFA. Like it's all BFA based. Because they're using lore from the past expansion. They're bringing it with us forward.
Because Anduin freed him from the stockades, right?
He was like, you fight your war.
And then he gave him the speech where it's like, you need to be honorable. It's like, you understand nothing of honor.
I loved every second on the cinematic. When I saw Varian, I popped. When I saw Sourfang, I was like, am I going to cry right now? I'm not going to cry right now. This is stupid. But I was like, oh my God, this is... I for the record, I did not cry. But I was like, this is so good. I loved it.
And then, I will say, immediately after this, Anduin rips the swords in two, and then he becomes undominated. I guess he powered through the domination after we beat him up enough. And then we get, for the first time in many, many years, an updated Arthas model.
And he's finally the little itty-bitty boy he was always meant to be. This beautiful little floating blue sphere of energy about the size of like a baseball.
I do like that. So the whole shtick is that this whole time we were expecting Arthas to be like, he's still alive. He's still a major force. And it was revealed that while he is still alive, all he is the sentiment of pain he left in other people. So once everyone sort of had their moment of growth, it was just like, yep, this is him. Our bad vibes. A literal, wisp in front of us.
And I love how, Sylvanas, undominated, I guess, closest to the she'll ever be to her Ranger General form is just Arthas, go on, get out of here. Blows him away into the winds.
She's just like, Arthas, you're sad. This is cringe. Go. And he was just like, okay.
I thought it was actually really good because Sylvanas is the one who, even though I don't like her, she's the one who benefits the most from closure from the Arthas scenario. Now, the comments on YouTube and Wildhead have been very mixed, with Wildhead actually being more positive than the YouTube comments, which is surprising because nobody hates the game more than WoW players. I saw a lot of people being like, why didn't Jaina get to say anything? Bitch, why would Jaina need to say anything? Jaina told Arthas all he needed to hear from her. She said, Arthas, I can't follow you down this path, and I will not. There's nothing more to say to this dude.
Yeah, I don't even think Jaina saw Arthas when he was a Death Knight. She signed him off at Stratholme, and that was just it. She was done.
Yeah, Jaina got all the closure she personally needed, in my opinion.
I will remind you that she did run away in the Wrath Dungeon when he chases you.
That is true. He's like, I'm gonna get you, bitch. She was just like, champion, let's fucking go.
Walker, champion. I thought it was really good. People who are mad, from what I've seen, usually like the wrath boomers who are like, Arthas deserved to be shown in the game in his full motto and get a redemption. And I'm like, whoa, hold up, a redemption? Nobody thought that but the 10% of y'all.
You know what's really funny? I've seen other comments that are like, basically, this really tiny wispy boy version of Arthas is basically a commentary of what Arthas has become at this point in the Warcraft universe. Like, literally, all of him has been plucked away so much and over the years that this is all that's left of this character, and now Sylvanas will just blow him away and then he's done. Like, I feel like that's fine.
She just looks right at the screen and she was like, Wrath of the Lich King was 12 years ago. Raise your son. Talk to your family. It's long been over.
What's really funny, though, is some of the, like, camera angles that they used during the cinematic. Like, I think Slide said it first. It's like this angle that it looked like Sylvanas' mouth when she was talking was really close to the wispy Arthas. And, and Slide was like, she's gonna lean in and go, and eat him up.
He's inside me now. I've consumed him.
I do think of all the potential possible ways to do an Arthas reveal, this is actually probably the best way to do it. And also, I want to go back. So we were like, Aaron's like, why is Saurfang there? If you look at the people who are present right now, Varian's there, Saurfang's there, Sylvanas is there, Jaina is there, Uther is there. It's a mimic of the raid of Icecrown Citadel, because Varroc's son was corrupted by the Lich King, and Varian allowed Saurfang to come pick up his dead corpse son and bring him back to bury him in, not Orgrimmar, in Outland. And so that's also why there's this connection between the three of them with Anduin. It's honestly really fucking good.
So this leads me to an unfortunate thing, and I don't mean to yuck anyone's yum, but they showed Saurfang and they showed Varian, and the whole thing is like, Varian got fell corrupted. How is he there? And people are like, well, according to Zareth Mortain lore, if you're a super cool guy, maybe you can come back as a Zareth Mortis Sepulcher spirit, and he's just a memory, right? At least that's how I interpreted the scene. Was they're not like entities that are coming to him. They're just in Anduin's memory, these two.
I would like to start off by saying, why are any of us pretending that we knew that Gul'dan destroyed any chance of Varian coming back? At this point,
I'm just giving it to Tyre. Tyre told me it couldn't happen, so I'm blaming it on him.
Well, because but that's what we all said, right? We were like, Varian can't come back. But I'm like, why were we all so set on this? Like, what the fuck felt magic? Like, what?
I will say, though, that was before we had any concept of what the Shadowlands or any Beyond Death realm was. But I do agree with Aaron that in this particular case, I interpreted it as these are two memories or thoughts within Anduin himself.
Yes, I do not think they are literal spirits that happen to be on that platform in Sepulcher. They're just things Anduin is thinking of.
It also reminds me of the end of Icecrown Citadel when Tyrannus Menethil comes to Arthas and it says these things, and I'm like, well, he shouldn't be here. He should be in the sword, right?
Tyrannus was not actually there. It's just Arthas in his dying moments was like, oh hey, my dad is like, I'm thinking about my dad.
Yeah, it's just like a really, really good full circle callback to ICC, and I think it's done fantastically. Now, I will say, as much as I wanted Sylvanas to chomp up Arthas' soul, for all my Little Nicky fans out there who have seen the movie Little Nicky by Adam Sandler, I really, really wanted them to put Arthas' little soul in this little baby flask and shove him up Hitler's ass so he can live the rest of his fucking life up there, just like Adam Sandler's two brothers lived alongside that pineapple at the end of the movie.
Just, known German dictator Adolf Hitler introduced to the World of Warcraft lore, if only to be the vessel that Arthas lives in.
Okay, so Slide said that this cinematic brought us Warcraft full circle back to ICC, but our conversation has brought us full circle back to being a a self-proclaimed Little Nicky podcast.
Little Nicky, 10 out of 10 movie. 5 out of 10 movie, but I like it. I'm actually Googling what year ICC was released, because I would not be surprised if ICC came out the same year Little Nicky was also released.
No, because Little Nicky was released in 2000.
Was in the 90s, right?
It was not the 90s.
I thought it was 1999 or /2000.
It's like,
Warcraft had not even come out.
It's 2000. All right, fine. Listen, give me. Oh my god,
it had a Game Boy Color adaptation. That tells you how old it is.
Can we talk about these ratings? IMDb gives it a 5.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 21%. However, 79% of Google users like this movie, and I gave it a thumbs up, hoping to get it to 80.
We're DNR me. Let's all give Lil Nicky a thumbs up and get it to 100%, and then maybe Adam Sandler will see it, and instead of what's it called, Crystals 2, he'll make Little Nicky 2.
Our final goal is Library of Congress. Little Nicky, here we go.
Yeah, okay.
This honestly, talking about it makes me want to go watch that fucking cinematic again, because they do such a good job going full circle. What?
No, just laughing, because at first I thought you were talking about Little Nicky.
I mean, I do want to watch Little Nicky.
Honestly, talking about this just makes me really want to delve into Adam Sandler's real great hits again.
You can do it. Oh no, it's a Rob Schneider quote, and Rob Schneider's the devil.
Yeah, Rob Schneider. Unfortunately, if you're going into Adam Sandler films avoiding Rob Schneider, you're going to have a tough time.
I would love if somebody recreated Adam Sandler movies and they cut Rob Schneider out of every single scene. You wouldn't lose much.
Yeah, I will pay someone to make Waterboy, but every time his character comes up, just cut to like low-grade footage of you in your backyard recreating it. You can do it.
Oh, man. Also, Aaron, I have a question for you. What do you call those little robots that walk around Azeroth Mortis?
Well, that's the thing, is they are Atoma. Everyone has said it enough that I know it's Atoma. In my head, like, if you were live there, it would be like, oh, look at that automata. But I know that is incorrect.
Do you mean Atoma?
Atoma.
Atoma.
For some
Look at that Atoma.
We can't.
Your good friend Pocopac.
We can't stop saying Atoma. It's a curse. We say it like every hour. Atoma.
Like, we're not even playing WoW just around the house. We're like, Atoma.
But then also on TikTok, fucking Machine Gun Kelly's fucking I'm in love with an emo girl song keeps playing. So I'm just like, I'm in love with a Atoma girl.
I'm in love with Atoma girl.
Atoma girl.
Would you say that a Roomba is the closest that we as human society have gotten to Atoma?
Oh, 100%. Like, it has to be, right? Like, what's even next? Like, so,
I guess a less efficient Roomba. If we can get Roomba on tiny spindly legs, that would be a step closer.
Do you guys remember when we were kids and they had like those random like robo dog pet things?
You mean Techno, the robot puppy, who I had 2 of, and I love him very much, and his ears fell off, but I kept them in a drawer because I couldn't reattach them? Yes.
I would say that's also pretty close to Atoma.
Techno was an Atoma. I love Techno. I took care of that goddamn robot dog so well, except for his ears. Atoma.
Anyways, we killed 2 other bosses, but we kind of one-shot them, so we're just going to keep moving past. We did too much Sandler talk.
Yeah, we killed the Solshenines and the worms guy.
You forgot his literal last sexiest NPC of the week, Skolex the Unsatiable Hungerer.
Well, the Sashini is so sexy.
He was very satiated, let me say. We hardly planned for him, and we one-shot him.
The only reason, and I died, but only because everybody was running away, and I'm like, well, I'm going to get my extra, I have a Convoke, I'm going to use my Convoke, but I didn't realize he had a thing where he's like, if no tank is standing within 10 meters of me, I'm going to eat whoever's closest to me. And the fucking tanks ran away, so I was like, I'm dead.
Listen, he's insatiable.
Maybe he should eat some Atoma.
I'm sure he did.
I also
he literally ate 2 of them in his intro.
Also, while we were inside of Seppi Raid, somebody posted a spoiler about the Anduin cinematic, and they were like, spoiler, Anduin's sword gets goat seed by his 2 dads. And I was like, no! Because they pull the sword apart from an angle, and I'm like, stop.
Damn, that is true. They do snugly put their big masculine fingers around each hilt and just spread it, quote, farther than a human being should be able to.
Humanity is forever tainted by this. Like, it's never going to go away, which is unfortunate, right? Like, it's...
That man's still doing it, by the way.
Don't plug this guy. Don't plug him.
You saw how far he spread his butt cheeks apart.
We can't leave it.
That man's a professional. He deserves my aplomb.
Luxembourg is gonna disown us.
I would like to think that several hundred years from now, after we're dead, Goatsy will also be dead.
All right, let's just go to our top 2 bottom boot, medium boot. I guess give me out of here, Aaron. You got one or what?
I do, and I've got a bottom boot, unfortunately.
Boot.
The Sephi opened up, and we were able to kill 1/3 of its bosses: Eyeball Magoo, Zymox, Skolex, Desogny, and the entire fucking time, all I got was 2 conduits. And it wasn't even useful conduits.
I didn't get anything either, if that makes you feel any better. I didn't get not one piece of loot.
Well, then who was getting stuff? Because I saw a bunch of people getting stuff, but yeah, all I got was invisibility makes you 10% faster. And, like, the most generic one where it's like, when you get hit, you heal for 1%.
Damn. Yeah, I got, like, Boomkin conduits, and I was like, I'm never gonna use these things. Yeah, so who was getting shit? I bet you Metaloid got something cool, probably.
The thing is, I don't think I got any gear during that raid, actually.
So if we didn't get any gear, that means nobody got... Wooly, did you get any gear? Wooly, did you get any gear?
He did. I'm lighting my pitchfork. I'm grabbing... lighting my pitchfork.
Yeah,
lighting my torch and grabbing my pitchfork. This motherfucker got... he got a trinket and I saw him get it.
Wait, that's great though. Trinkets are like hot commands. You son of a bitch, Wooly.
Also, I hope he noticed that when we were pulling Zymox, each time I would change a part of my Mog slightly to just be his.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
He was wearing like a purple outfit with the wiggly, like tentacle shoulders and some other purple stuff. And each time I would inspect him and I would change my Mog to one of the parts to just copy him.
You're a goddamn
fool. He never like said anything. So I was like, oh, he didn't notice.
Okay, A, I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love this idea and I'm gonna steal it. But B, I really feel like it would be hard.
Yeah, because you're not a cloth guy.
No, it was like somebody else. I was just someone else.
Oh, someone else.
But like, I feel like it would be really hard to get someone to notice your incremental clothes change.
I will say though, also yes, just shout out to Wooly and Gershom who have joined us rating on our team this week from Thrall's Balls. Go listen again, another shout out. But I just wanted to say, just throw this in here so I don't forget it, that like Wooly at one point before one of the bosses, he's like, everyone pet my imp for good luck, and I completely forgot that I knew that his imp's name was Nipple. So like, you know, it's like Metaloid pet Nipple.
You pervert. We're in a serious game mode and you're petting nipples?
Get out of here. I thought we got rid of those kinds of kids. But anyways, I'm going to be petting my nipples so that next week I get better drops. Slidewhistle, what is your TTBBMM?
I got me a big old top 2.
Doo-doo.
My top 2 is similar to what Amin said earlier in the podcast, but I am also going to be rating on my first ever character. Well, my first ever rating character, but also my first ever alliance character. Because I'm like, okay, Alan can have some time sitting on the bench. It's almost tax season. He's an architect now. You know, he's what's that word?
He picks up shifts at the H&R Block still.
Yeah, so this is the time to do that. So I'm on my paladin, my ret pally, who I have not done any serious content with since WoD ended. I got AODC on him with Archie Monday, and I'm like, I want to play a ret paladin again. I've been playing some mythics with him. We did a 15 last week. I want to get him some dungeons in this week. I'm going to bring him to Dr. Jobs raid until we have a boss that I can do on my druid for more loot. I'm super excited because every time I play Ret Pally, I'm like, oh man, every single button just feels so fantastic to press. And like everyone's like, they're bad in AoE, and I'm like, well, that may be true, but I feel good in AoE.
They might be bad in AoE, but like, have you ever pressed Divine Storm?
Or have you pressed my Covenant ability, which I forgot is Kyrian? Ring the bells.
Divine Toll.
Ring the bells. It's really fucking fun. And I'm like, I'm scared. Like, if my 2-tier set for my Feral ends up feeling garbage, like everyone says it's going to, and my Ret one feels good, I'm like, am I gonna bring my Ret Pally main to like everything? Like, am I gonna switch by this expansion? I kind of hope not, because those achievements are gonna be horrible to re-earn.
I feel like they need to fix Feral.
It'll be interesting if you do play him, because just mentioning this character is a dox. So it'll be fun. The mental gymnastics to be like, yeah, and you came as you.
Yeah, I have my real name as my paladin, which also makes me want to play him even more. So when I love talking in trade chat with him because it's just me. Somebody was like, and this was a serious question they asked, is anybody wearing 2 legendaries yet? And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm wearing 2 legendaries. And I linked my old legendary, like, the one that everybody wears. And then I linked Shadowmourne, because as a paladin, it's in my bags from ICC. I linked it. And someone says, yeah, I inspected him, and I only saw him wearing 1 legendary. And I said, re-inspect me again, dumbass. Check me out again. He was like, I don't need to. I saw you wearing greens. Haha. And I'm like, oh, sorry. He said, I saw you wearing blues. Haha. And I'm like, blues? Bitch, I'm wearing greens. So what are you talking about? And then I whispered him, and I linked him my 2 legendaries. I'm doing rabbit ears, which was Shadowmourne. I level like 87 and my belt, and he was so mad at me. He called me so many names and then blocked me, and I'm like, my paladin is just me. We're the same. We are one.
I don't get why people get so mad in trade chat over stupid things like this.
Like, it was obviously a joke. Like, it was like, I linked Shadowmourne, but what I think is which is scary. I don't think these people knew what Shadowmourne was, and I'm like, I should know what Shadowmourne is. It's an ICC legendary. What about you, Mian? What's your TTBB other one? Medium moot.
Yeah, I'm actually going to slap down a medium moot.
Boo.
What makes me upset is that other one is also like OO. So, TTBBMMOO.
Oh, God.
I'm going to slap down an OO. Okay, so the M Plus Season 3 has started. And I feel like overall it's just a medium moot. It's exciting to have more challenging dungeon content again, but I feel like this is the hardest that it's been tuned on a new season in a while, where we walked into a 13 and got like completely stomped with our guild. I went with the group that I did my 20s with last season into a 16 sanguine, and we just gave up on hallway boss. We just couldn't do it. We just didn't have the DPS, we felt like. And I feel like things are tuned a lot higher than they normally are during a new season. And I feel like, we're just struggling on like 12s and 13s with our group. And it's whatever. We'll get there. This is also the hardest week that we'll have. Obviously it's the first week of the new season where we don't have any additional gear. And also the affixes were kind of bogus and annoying this week. I mean, explosive sucks in general.
I feel like a lot of the problem isn't that the dungeon's overtuned, it's that the ability is not where the old one was. So before, you would pick your animal powers and you would have those with you permanently through the entire dungeon. Now you only get temporary buffs. So everything has been shifted slightly in a different direction. I'm assuming that with our tier set pieces and other pieces of gear that we're going to be getting from Raid, it will actually make those feel better as it goes on. But again, it's going to be the classic tier set hunting that everybody missed and loved. And I'm like, I don't know about this one, guys. I've never really been a big fan of tier because how it makes me itemize my gear. I just want, again, I want tier gems that I put into anything I want instead of having to wear a head that's a tier, or a chest that's a tier, or a feet that's a tier.
Yeah, I mean, that's big feels. Yeah, it was a little rough this week, though, in the Mythics, but it'll get only easier as it all goes on once we get more gear in. Yeah, that tier set that we're all hunting for. Overall, that's why it's a medium moot. But yes, I am very excited. A bunch of new content, new season, new raid. I'm a happy immunization right now.
Wait until you get Tazavesh keys, baby.
Oh my god, like almost everyone in our normal key running group got them this week, but we just chose not to, as we should probably.
Oh shit, yeah, we told them we were gonna do that today. Hell yeah, so we get some keys in. So I was still on the Little Nicky page, and I googled what year Little Nicky came out. People also ask, did Little Nicky make money? How much did Little Nicky cost? What is it about? My favorite one. Is Little Nicky kid appropriate? Ooh, who's Googling that? No!
In the year 2022.
Like, what? Can you imagine showing like a 7-year-old Little Nicky?
Also, I feel like in general, the rating system is there for that very reason, right?
Oof. There are actual parents reviewing this. I love it. Okay, anyway, Aaron, take us away.
All this Little Nicky discourse is brought to you by these lovely patrons. We're talking about friend of the pod, Tajurla, fourth host of the podcast, Jamonkey, Ahoy Vince, a.k.a. Nathanos, killed himself to see Sylvanas and she won't even pick up the phone. Vanderlyle, who says, imagine having a negative opinion about cheetah form being updated after 18 years.
Get him!
InSync/Drag Race, Crucifix, Saracen Hawk, Adorno, who misses his Worgen lady, Gershom, check out Thrall's Balls, and Will, a.k.a. Tyre, Trade Chat's Fallen Father.
You guys can join our Discord at donotrelent.com. You can send us an email at donotrelentpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at donotrelentpod. You guys are awesome, and we like you, and you're okay. Leave us a review on Warcraft Radio, or iTunes, or Spotify, or wherever. Who gives a fucking fuck? What about you guys?
Yeah, do that. It's been a while since we've taken a shot in Yell's honor, but you can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at New Era Alex. You can follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent, and I am on Twitch at Immunization DNR.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at TheBigAcheesy on Twitter.com, our literary musings at DoNotRelent.LiveJournal.com, and come find me at Twitch at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. Sometimes I play sad games. Sometimes I play funny games. Sometimes I just sit there.
Sit there. Also, shout out to Roke and Infinite Anchor, our newest Discord joiners. We see y'all.
Woo, 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 woo.
Alright, bye. And remember,
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.